Hallo, wie geht's? Ich bin Thomas. All right, here we are once again for another live stream of my Duolingo German practice. And yeah, so here we go. This is the Esperanto Variety Show. My phone just beeped to let me know that we're really doing this. And yeah, so I put this notice up on Duolingo saying that we could do this live stream again. And I thought I'd take another pass at this and see what we can do. All right, so let me find out what else I want to talk to you guys about. So I do want to mention this is the Esperanto Variety Show. I think, oh, I got too many windows open. Here we go. Esperanto Variety Show. Every Thursday we have new videos. Typically they are in Esperanto and about Esperanto. And the purpose of this live stream is to go over some grammar and work on some Duolingo. So I'm going to get right into that. And then we can come back and see who's watching. Where's the button? Let me see my windows. Here we go. And how do we do that? We go Duolingo, and then we go to practice. The clock is chiming. I'm not sure if you can hear that over my microphone. And that reminds me that I adjusted the clocks because we have just gone to daylight savings time in New York State and most of the United States. And Europe has not yet gone over to daylight savings time, Sommerzeit in German. Sommerzeit, die Sommerzeit. Yeah, so it was a little funny. I thought I would do the live stream an hour later in the afternoon to try to catch some more people in Europe, because it's early evening, as I understand it, in Europe right now. And with the time change, it was the exact same time. All right, so I'm going to test out on the accusative case and see where we go from there. And after I do a couple exercises, maybe I'll get into a little mini grammar lesson, and then see who's on the call, see who's hanging out. By the way, thanks for hanging out with us. I'm turning on my speaker right now in case there are any sounds that we want to hear. Das Mädchen. All right, so now this is about conjugation, which we've been talking about in weeks past. Right, so what was that regular verb? Ich bleibe. Ich bleibe, du bleibst, er, sie, es bleibt, wir bleiben, ihr bleibt, sie bleiben. That's a regular verb. Essen is an irregular verb, which I don't have written out right now, but it's ich esse, du isst, er, sie, es isst, wir essen, ihr esst, sie essen. Right, so with du isst and er, sie, es isst. So that's, yeah, that's how that works. These common verbs tend to be irregular. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is what we just talked about. This is one we talked about last week. Ich habe, du hast, er, sie, es hat, wir haben, ihr habt, sie haben. So it's du hast. Hast du ein Buch? Yeah, milk. Milch. And those of you who are not native German speakers, think about whether it's der, die, or das. I always think that milk comes from a cow, and it's die Milch, because cows are lady cows. That doesn't always help. Apfel, Apfel. Oh, and is it der, die, or das? I'm going to phone a friend. If anybody wants to tell me in the chat, I will put that in. Der Apfel, das Apfel. Das Apfel, der Apfel. I think it's der Apfel. But I'm going to see what you guys are doing. Why? Because I'm nosy. All right, so I have a few things open. By the way, yeah, I have this open to remind me to talk about subscribing. So if you guys want to see more of what we're doing here, make sure to subscribe to Esperanto Variety Show. And here's the channel right there. and use the bell. And since I can't show you the bell on my own icon on my own channel, I'm going to take a look at language stuff. Chris, he's got some neat videos out there, and I'm going to subscribe to his channel, which I already have, and I'm going to use the bell. So when I click on the bell, it gives that little those little marks next to it to let you know that you're going to get all the updates on what he's up to. And if you want to know what I'm up to, come over to Esperanto Variety Show and do the same thing there. Okay. Coming up this week, we have 2 live events scheduled. This is the A1-A2 German practice. And by the way, I'm trying to constantly remind myself that we do have second language English speakers on the call. Don't be afraid to say, Thomas, you're speaking too fast, all right? Because I really do appreciate the German people who are on the call helping me out with my German and helping the viewers out and keeping me honest in terms of what I'm saying about German. And if you can come along and ask questions about English, or at least have an opportunity to listen to some English, and I can help out with that, that is great. And the other thing coming on this week is for our Wednesday live stream, which is going to be 2 days from now, but an hour earlier. So 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's according to New York. If you're not in Eastern time, you just Google what time is it now in New York, and it will tell you what time it is in New York. I'm going to have Lee Miller, who is not only known to some people from the Facebook group for Duolingo, and people who go to Esperanto Summer School will know him from there. He's also recently been voted into the Academio de Esperanto, so that's kind of neat. And he's told me he's going to talk so much I'll have nothing to say, which actually sounds wonderful, but we'll see. So if you're learning Esperanto or interested about Esperanto, check that out. Okay, so I'm going to see who's on the call, which means I have to click on this and mute my sound. So if you're learning Esperanto, and then thank you for the 1 thumbs up so far. And one of these, I don't want mini player, I want this one, theater mode. That way I don't have to look at the screen to see who's on. Holly, ja, klar, immer, du bist immer da. Der Apfel fällt nicht weit vom Stamm. Ja, das ist sehr interessant. Wir haben ein ähnliches Sprichwort im Englisch. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. In Esperanto, man sagt es anders. Kia patro tia filo, mi pensas. Like father, like son, I think is another way to say it. But der Apfel. Danke. Guten Abend aus Indien. Ja, es ist schön, dass du hier sein. Wie viel Uhr ist es in Indien? Hier ist es 2 Uhr nachmittags. Wie spät ist es? Okay, so I said I was going to talk a little bit about grammar. And rather than type something up, I just did a little Google image search. I wanted to talk a little bit about prepositions. Again, one of the things that I don't even know what this is. Full credit, obviously, to the people whose website I'm looking at. But when I learned German, we had to recite all sorts of things as if they were a catechism, as I've been saying. One of them are the conjugation of the common verbs. Ich esse, du isst, er, sie, es isst, wir essen, ihr esst, sie essen. That sort of thing. So you could just recite that without thinking about it. And the other one we had to do were different groups of prepositions. And so this first one talks about the accusative prepositions, and it includes bis. When we learned it, we only said durchführ, gegen, ohne, Durchführ, gegen, ohne, presumably because those are the common ones, but there are other ones. Same thing with these dative prepositions. We never would say gegenüber, although I think I knew that gegenüber is a dative preposition. We just recited the common ones. Außer bei, mit, nach, Zeit, von, zu. So I would, yeah, this one includes bis, durch, für, gegen, ohne, bis, durch, für, gegen, ohne, And so the idea is you learn to say these, just recite them. Außer bei, mit, nach, Zeit, von, zu. Außer bei, mit, nach, Zeit, von, zu. And so then eventually, if you have a question, what case do I have to use with a preposition? You think, oh, I remember saying außer bei, mit, nach, Zeit, von, zu. And mit is a dative preposition. I just happen to have that one memorized. I feel that deep in my gut that mit is a dative preposition. And then you'll know. Oh, I like this one. Oh, fudge. Oh, ohne, für, durch, gegen, entlang. You know what? I think if that works for you, that's fine. I think just being able to just recite these like a catechism is the way to do it. And we can talk a little bit more about what the cases mean. That's a whole new discussion. But yeah, so the other thing, oh yeah, an, auf, hinter, ihn, neben. That was the other thing I did, is I just basically came over here and I Googled an, auf, hinter, ihn, neben, unter, über, unter, vor, zwischen. Here we go. There's another one. Those are the three groups of prepositions. An, auf, hinter, ihn, neben, über, unter, vor, zwischen. And I don't know why they had me say for, before, zwischen, but that's the way I learned it. Maybe the teacher thought it rolled off your tongue faster. An, auf, hinter, ihn, neben, über, unter, vor, zwischen. Oh, because it's alphabetical order. Yeah, for some reason, whoever wrote up this list got it out of alphabetical order. And these are the two-way prepositions. So maybe, all right, so as we go through these exercises, I'm going to be, I might not actually pull up the screen again, but anyway. Did my Duolingo crash out? No, it didn't. Der Apfel. Der Apfel fällt nicht weit von den Baum. Oh, I get to do it twice. Der Apfel. Der Apfel.
Sie lesen.
Sie lesen. Whoops, I'm supposed to translate this, right? All right. So I'm going to translate this. Sie lesen actually has two meanings. And because it's the first word in the sentence, we can't know for sure without context. But I'm going to say it's you read. It could be you read, it could be they read, and then it could also be you are reading or they are reading.
Ich lese ein Buch, sie liest eine Zeitung.
Ich lese ein Buch, sie liest eine Zeitung. Ich lese ein Buch, I am reading a book. Then there's a comma splice in there, bad grammar. Sie liest eine Zeitung. She is reading a newspaper. And I wrote this with a capital S. I probably should not have, but Duolingo doesn't count punctuation.
Trinkst du?
Trinkst du? Are you drinking? By the way, this live stream is going to be whatever you guys want it to be. So whatever feedback you have, whatever you want to see, if you have any questions, if you want to bring up Duolingo on your own and work on your own sentences and then say, hey, I just had a sentence that I wanted to ask about, please do that. And we will see where we go. Trinkst du? I'm feeling a little sassy today. Drinkest thou? Oh, it didn't like it.
Wir lesen.
Wir lesen. We are reading. Ich lese, du liest, er, sie, es liest, wir lesen, ihr lest, sie lesen. That's another irregular verb. They have books. Sie haben Bücher. So far, no prepositions.
Die Zeitung.
Er liest die Zeitung. He is reading. He reads, there we go, the newspaper. He reads the newspaper. Liest die Zeitung. You have bread. Yeah, so this is ich habe, sie es hat, wir haben, ihr habt, sie haben. Du hast Brot.
Brot.
Sie trinken.
Sie trinken. You, they. There it is. They read. Oh, they drink. Oh, gosh, what am I thinking? Sie trinken. We are drinking. We are drinking. And then, see, this is the R. This is one thing I see. I don't spend a lot of time actually reading questions about German, but I see this a lot in Esperanto. People see that in English we're saying we are drinking, so that they look all over the place for a word for are. But when translating to German, we need to think, okay, German doesn't have that progressive form, so we need to think in terms of we drink. How do you say we drink? Wir trinken. Oh, this one gives us all the choice. So trinkt, the very first tile. What subject do we use with that one? Trinkt. How about trinke? What subject do we use with trinke? Ich trinke. Trinkst. What subject do we use with trinkst? Du trinkst. But this subject here is wir trinken.
Ich trinke.
Ich trinke. I drink. You are drinking. Ihr, oh, this is plural.
Yeah.
Give you a second to think about it. What's the plural? What's the verb we use with ihr? Ich trinke, du trinkst, sie es trinkt, wir trinken, ihr trinkt, sie trinken. Ihr trinkt. You are drinking.
Sie lesen die Zeitung.
Sie lesen die Zeitung. You are reading the newspaper. She is eating an apple and they are eating bread. She is eating an apple, right? So it's she eats. Sie isst. And my wife would always laugh every time she'd walk by and the Duolingo voice would say, Sie ist eine Banane. Because it sounds like she is a banana, but it's spelled with two S's. Sie ist. Oh, yes, here we go. So this is accusative case. Apfel. And it's einen Apfel. Einen Apfel, right? We were talking about that before. It's der Apfel. Der Apfel. And then der in the accusative is associated with that en ending. So einen. Sie isst einen Apfel und sie. Und sie.
Und sie.
And what's sie essen?
Essen.
Essen. Brot. There we go. Sie isst einen Apfel und sie essen Brot. She is eating an apple and they are eating bread.
Ein Apfel.
Ein Apfel.
Ich lese.
I am reading. Ich lese. I am reading. All right. Let that save. For some reason, it's not saving. Yep. Okay, look at that. I got my 20 XP for the test out. That was big news on Duolingo this past week. Everybody was up on arms, and quite honestly, I was a little bit frustrated myself because they've changed the way test outs work, and I had been getting lots and lots of XP, and now I'm not. So I was kind of treating it like a game and having some fun with it, and now I'm like, all right, well, I guess it's back to just plain old boring learning, right? And of course, yeah, we're here to learn. But anyway, so let me check in with you guys. Oh, wait, before I do, let me show you what I have going on here. This was fun. I want to thank you guys for watching, because in the last few months, the watch time has really shot up, as I think I mentioned in a recent live stream. Thanks in large part to you guys watching these live streams. The watch time on this channel has gone way up, and we reached the 1,000 4,000 watch hours threshold to qualify to be for the channel to be reviewed. So now YouTube is going to review the channel, make sure I'm posting original material, that I'm not just copying, other videos and that sort of thing. And then, yeah, they'll be able to put me back into the YouTube Partner Program, which I am very excited about that. More on that coming up. Endlich 4,000 Stunden, yeah. Der letzte Livestream. Yeah, did you notice that in the description that I put in Duolingo? I said the fourth, and perhaps the last live stream is going to happen at this time right now. Yeah, so I think I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about what you think about the live stream. And obviously, if you guys are here, you're enjoying it. I'll be quite honest with you. The watch time for the Spanish live streams were pretty strong at the beginning and then kind of went down. And so I stopped doing those. And then looks like the same thing is happening with German. A lot of people are just not watching the German. And that's fine. This is the Esperanto Variety Show after all. Der letzte Livestream. Der letzte. Oh, yes. Thank you. Let me go fix that. Der letzte. Yeah, I won't swear that I ever knew that, but I will say that my spelling in German has gotten a lot worse in the last 25 years. Just because I don't use it on a regular basis, and so I'm remembering how things sound. Der letzte Livestream. That and the German spelling system has changed since I was actively taking German classes. So yeah, so it's been interesting to work through Duolingo and try to learn the new spelling rules. All right, der letzte Livestream. Yeah. Okay. Well, not a whole lot going on in the chat. So we got 4 people watching. All right. So I'm thinking at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think in terms of people who are watching the replay as well. And certainly, thank you guys for hanging out on the live stream. If you're watching the replay and you've gotten this far, keep in mind that it's possible to use the gear icon to kick the speed up a little bit. And if you feel like it's not moving, turn the speed up a little bit. Another thing that I have encouraged people to do is to bring up their own Duolingo at the same time, especially during the live stream. But also when you're watching the replay, that might be another way to get the most out of it. So you can focus on one thing and listen to another. Totally up to you. And if you'd like to see more, keep watching and leave a comment. Okay, well, before I get back into the next Duolingo exercise, I do want to show some other things that I have open. Oh, yeah. I was going to show some new videos coming up. That's what that was supposed to remind me. So here's my Esperanto Variety Show. And
Tommaso, I want you to be the best.
Whoa. What'd you do? What'd you do, Tommaso?
Where we have material.
Oh, I was going to show you me speaking German. All right, he's not going to say what I'm not going to say what I want me to say. Yeah, but over here, I just want to say these are some things I've been working on in the last few weeks. So we did the here's your sneak peek. This is what the new video is going to be about on Thursday, if all goes well. I've had that one out there ready to go. Basically, what do you do? What do you do for a living? It's all in Esperanto. The only English in it is I have a little bit on the screen at one point, and then on the thumbnail. You teach Esperanto? Oh, ha 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 ha! What do you really do? Yeah. Okay. And we've been doing a lot of live streams, as you know. And then last week, the German live stream crashed, or my device crashed while we were doing that, which reminds me I should check to make sure we're still actually streaming. Yes, we are. That's good. And yeah, so, but I ended up doing this. I ended up making these 3 videos because they made that change in Duolingo. And I didn't mean to click on it. sometimes my screen is a little bit too sensitive. And I came up with 3 videos. They're all fairly short. You see, they're all under, well, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and 4.5 minutes long. And I have one that I call Bye Bye 25, Duolingo 25, Can It Be Done in 2019? And the answer to that question is obviously yes, but there are a lot of follow-up questions that are related to that. So if that's interesting to you, please check that out. I also wrote, I am no longer using Duolingo to learn Spanish. I only had so many characters in the title. Thanks, Duolingo. I'm quitting Spanish. I mean, I'm quitting the Duolingo Spanish course. I am not quitting Spanish. But if you want to know why I'm no longer going to use Duolingo to learn Spanish, I did a video on that. And then in the end screens of both those videos is a link to this 3rd video, which I'm going to release either this week or maybe in another week. I haven't decided. And this is me pointing at my head because I'm bald. That's what that picture really is. And if you want to know why that is, wait for that video to come out or watch one of these other videos and find it in the end screen. So I thank you guys for watching Esperanto Variety Show. Hey, look at that. Here's a good one. Duolingo practice live now. 8 watching. All right. I don't like the way the live stream works. When I do the quick live stream, it doesn't let me pick the thumbnail ahead of time. There are other ways to do live streams, and I just have to make do with what works on the device that I have. So there we go. All right. So I think I have 2 sessions of Duolingo open. And if I'm going to be doing prepositions, I should probably pick a lesson on prepositions. So I'm going to say prep. Accusative prepositions. Who remembers what the accusative prepositions are? Durch, für, gegen, ohne, And I think bis was in that list too. So let's do some actual preposition lessons so we can tie it back to what we were talking about before.
Wer gegen Pferd.
Wer gegen Pferd. Durch, für, gegen, ohne, All right, so we know that's an accusative preposition, and there are no articles in this one, so we don't really have to think a lot about case. Wer gegen Pferd, bear against horse. I spelled against wrong. Fortunately, Duolingo let it slip. Duolingo let that pass. Bear against horse, that's what we just said. Bear gegen Pferd.
Bär gegen Pferd.
Oh my word, you're not going to do this to me, are you, Duo? Bear gegen Pferd. All right, so everyone listen.
Bär gegen Pferd.
There we go. Bear gegen Pferd. Bear. Oops, Bear. Bear. Bear, 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 bear. Bear gegen Pferd. I think I just saw some kids walking across the front lawn. If so, we're about to be invaded by 2 of my kids coming home from school. Hopefully they won't make too much noise, or as I like to say, ruckus. Ruckus is another word for noise. It's kind of an unusual word, and I say it because it's such a fun word to say. Maybe they're going to make some ruckus as they come through here. It just means they're going to make noise. Dieser Apfel ist für dich. Right? So, ich, mich, ich, dich. Right? So, ich is accusative. Dich, no. Oh my word. Du is accusative. Dich. Ich, mich, du, dich. That's what I'm trying to say. Ich, mich, du, dich. I, me, you, you. Right? But just as you say I, me, ich, mich, you have to say du, dich. Because dich is accusative. That's what this means. Hopefully that's clear to everybody. When we talk about these prepositions, by the way, prepositions. Well, let's see. Let's look at another one, and I'll talk about it.
Was bin ich ohne dich?
Was bin ich ohne dich? The ohne is the preposition here, and I think it's kind of important to know what a preposition is when learning a language like German or Esperanto, and a little less so for Spanish, I think. But it's important to know because they affect the words that come after them. So preposition, I'm going to type it in this window, even though that's not the answer. Preposition. Preposition is always in the preposition, right? It's always first. It always comes before the words we're talking about, right? So ohne dich. Ohne dich is considered the preposition. It's usually a short word, and it tells us about a relationship. So ohne dich means without you. Durch, für, gegen, ohne, So those are our dative prepositions. So we know that whatever comes after ohne is going to be in the accusative case. So ich, mich, du, dich. So what am I without you? All right.
Sie fahren die Ecke.
Sie fahren die Ecke. Hallo, Tochter. Bitte kein Ruckus machen. You should have seen the look she just gave me. She wasn't going to make any ruckus. Sie fahren die Ecke. Durch, für, gegen, ohne, die Ecke. They drive. How do I know it's they drive and not she drives? Because of the verb. Sie fahren. Right? If it were she drives, what would it be? Sie fährt. They drive. It could be. This one could be you formal if you want, but they drive. Die Ecke, around the corner. And these feminine nouns don't change a lot between nominative. Typically don't change between nominative and accusative. So die Ecke. Ooh, what's our sentence? Write this in German. My father walks through the door. All right, so my father walks through the door. So let's start with my father walks. Mein Vater.
Mein Vater.
Geht, probably. Geht, there it is. All right, so through is our dative preposition. Durch, für, gegen, ohne, Which one of these means through? Für or durch? Durch. All right. And then Tür. What's the article for Tür? Die Tür.
Die Tür.
And in this case, it was easy because it was a word tile. And the feminine doesn't change in the nominative or accusative. So that one was not giving us a lot of chance to practice what the dative prepositions are all about, but there we go.
Ich gehe die Straße entlang.
Ich gehe die Straße entlang. Ich gehe die Straße entlang. So this is interesting. So this is talking about prepositions. And I don't think there's really a preposition in this sentence. I walk. Right, gehe often means walk. It literally means to go, but often means walk along the street. Yeah, so die Straße entlang, it looks like entlang can come after, because it's not really a preposition, it's a postposition. Was bin ich ohne dich? Was bin ich? Bin ich ohne dich? Right, so ich, mich, du, dich.
Für meinen Sohn.
Für meinen Sohn. Für, right? I could say, das ist mein Sohn. Right? And so after ist, we use the accusative, mein Sohn. But after an accusative preposition, durch, für, gegen, ohne, in this case, für, whoops, we have to use the accusative. So mein Sohn becomes meinen. And how you know that, that's another lesson for another day. But the reason why we're doing the accusative case is because it's an accusative preposition. Is the water coming through the shoes? So let's kommt. Right, we need something with a capital letter. So literally, comes the water. Right, the water comes is a statement. Kommt, is the water coming? The water is coming. Is the water coming? Right. The water is coming is a statement. is the water coming is the question. Same thing. Das Wasser kommt is the statement. Kommt das Wasser is the question. So it's das Wasser.
Das Wasser.
And then through the shoes. Durch, für, gegen, ohne, Durch means through.
Durch.
And that's an accusative preposition, as I just recited. Durch, für, gegen, ohne, And it means we need something in the accusative case after this. And so, die Schuhe.
Die Schuhe.
And the plural doesn't tend to change a lot from nominative to accusative, so there's not a whole lot to think about there, but if there were, we would have been all over it. They're driving around the corner. Let me just check in with you guys, see who's still watching. I no longer use German. Warum nicht? Das ist, warum benutzt du nicht Duolingo nicht mehr, um Deutsch zu lernen? Und wie lernst du Deutsch? Lingveo. Lingveo, wie heißt das Nova? Du bist Nova. Ohne dich kann ich nicht sein, ohne dich. I'm assuming that's a song. I'm not familiar with it. Mit dir bin ich auch allein ohne dich. Daumen hoch. Hände hoch. Er macht das wirklich super. Yes, very kind of you to say. Vielen Dank für die 2 Daumen. Und yeah. Okay, let's do some more Duolingo. They are driving around the corner, right? So around, which word, actually I just said it. Around is our preposition in English. Around the corner. That's How do you say corner? Ecke. And it's die Ecke, so die Ecke. So how do we say they are driving? Sie fahren die Ecke.
Die Ecke.
They are driving around the corner.
Der Mann fährt die Straße entlang.
Der Mann fährt die Straße entlang. There's that word entlang again, which is coming at the end. Right, so instead of preposition and then a noun, it's a noun and then this entlang, which comes at the end. But in English, we express this with a preposition. Do you remember what the preposition is that we use to say die Straße entlang? Entlang. It's along the street. Der Mann fährt. Whoops, I should be doing this in English, shouldn't I? Der Mann, the man. And I could say either progressive or simple. I'm just going to say simple just because it's easier to type. Drives, right? The man drives along the street. By the way, pop quiz, I don't necessarily need you guys to answer, but what is the difference between the man drives along the street and the man is driving along the street? If we say the man is driving along the street, we are emphasizing that it's happening right now. If we say the man drives along the street, chances are we're talking about something that he does on a regular basis. So every day at 2 o'clock, the man drives along the street on his way home, right? There are other reasons you'd use one or the other, but those are the 2 most common ones.
Danke für das Essen.
Danke für das Essen. I think I just said it slowly and clearly. Let's hear that again.
Danke für das Essen.
Danke für das Essen. So, danke für das Essen. And I don't see any prepositions in that one, so I'm not sure why this is in this unit, but I don't judge. Danke für das Essen, meaning thank you for the food.
Bitte ohne mich.
Bitte ohne mich. Ich, mich, du, dich. Bitte ohne mich. Does that sound natural? I have a question for the German speakers. Is that something that you could imagine somebody saying, bitte ohne mich, please without me? Yeah, I don't know why you would say that, please without me. I mean, I guess I wouldn't freak out if somebody said that in the right context. I know him through a friend. All right, now maybe the way I said it gave the answer away, but which word there in English is the preposition? I know him through a friend. So it's through. Through is our preposition. And then the phrase through a friend is called, I think it's worth, this is a little less critical, but this is not a bad bit of grammar terminology to know. Through a friend would be called a prepositional phrase. So the preposition and whatever words come after it is considered a prepositional phrase. So through a friend. So let's start with I know him. Ich, right? Yep. So, and this makes it easy. Kenne. Kenne is the word for being familiar with a person. Ich kenne, and then so ihn. Ihn is the accusative form of what? Er. So he, him, ihn. Ich kenne ihn. That's considered accusative. So through a friend. Durch. And Freund. Freund, der, die oder das Freund. Der Freund. So it would be einen Freund. The masculine nouns do change in the accusative when they have an article. So ein Freund would be a friend. Einen Freund would be the accusative of that. Ich kenne ihn durch einen Freund. And why are we using the accusative form of ein Freund? Because durch, für, gegen, ohne, There we go.
Wir gehen das Haus.
Wir gehen das Haus. Wir gehen, we are going. Or maybe we are walking. How about that? Das Haus. Around the house. We are going around the house was another acceptable answer.
Bitte ohne mich.
Bitte ohne mich. I'm not even going to spend any time on it. Bitte ohne mich. Oops, I spelled mich wrong, but it took it. Thank you, Duolingo, for not marking me wrong.
Danke für das Essen.
That was a typo. Danke für das Essen. And we have to say that in English now. Which word is the preposition? Für. And what do we call for the food? What's the grammatical term for that expression? That's a prepositional phrase. So thank you. Thanks for the food.
Ist immer gegen mich.
Ist immer gegen mich. Again, where's the preposition? It's gegen, durch, für, gegen, ohne, What kind of preposition is it? It's an accusative preposition because it's on our list. Durch, für, gegen, ohne, And what case comes after gegen? Accusative. So ich, mich, du, dich. Ist immer gegen mich. He is always against me. All right. So again, if you have any comments, questions, anything you're doing in your own studies that you want to bring up, anything you'd like to see happen on this live stream, let me know. If you're learning Esperanto, be sure to come back on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern for the Esperanto live stream featuring Lee Miller. Look at that, I earned a lingot. Yep. This has been on my mind lately. This is there's a site called Graphtreon that lets you look at the patron growth of anybody who's on Patreon. And I have Esperanto Variety Show has a Patreon page, and you can look over the history of the channel to see how much support Esperanto Variety Show has been getting. And these big jumps here, this is when somebody jumps in and says, hey, I'm going to support you a whole lot, and then oftentimes before the payment even clears, they say, well, no, maybe not. I don't know whether their situation changed. In one case, I had a guy that was being very generous with his donations, and then he had to quit because his wife found out that he was supporting Esperanto Variety Show. Yeah, so I've been trying to let people know that we do have this out here. It takes a lot of time and effort to continue to keep a YouTube channel going. So if you guys are able to support the channel, I would really appreciate that. If you find value in it, please consider supporting it. What I've been seeing though is the support has been pretty flat. Right around the same level over the last, over the last 12 months. The base has come up a little bit. The number of people supporting this yellow line here, that's the number of people who've been patrons. And people come and people go, and they don't tell me why they go, and sometimes I worry about that. What am I doing wrong, right? And I do get it that people, they come in, they support. That's wonderful. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I do this because I think people find value in it. And I'm actually coming to the point where I'm thinking I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the channel, whether we can keep this going. I've made some changes in 2019, and we got the 4,000 watch hours in. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for listening to that. That's what's been on my mind lately. Let me see what's on your mind. Yeah, the ending of the verb mit dir. Yeah, we talked about that one. Lass uns Monopoly spielen, bitte ohne mich. Bitte ohne mich. Yeah, why don't we play Monopoly? Oh, please, without me. Yeah, I could see that. Lass. Yeah, that's a good question. So, Joreni fragt, was bedeutet lass? Und auf Englisch heißt das let. Lass uns Monopoly spielen. Ja, und man sagt auch, ich lasse mir die Haare schneiden, nicht wahr? Ich lasse mir die Haare schneiden. I think it's something along those lines. And it literally means I'm letting my hair cut, something along those lines, but it's actually I get my hair cut. So yeah, all right, so Holly, let me give you some feedback here. Let us play sounds extraordinarily old-fashioned or formal. In just about any case, you would say, let's play Monopoly, L-E-T''S. But yeah, that's exactly correct. It just, when you spell it out, it sounds pretty formal or old-fashioned. In church, you might say, okay, let us pray. But you would never say, let us play Monopoly. Although that said, if you were a guest in my house and you were to say, let us play Monopoly, I don't think I would correct you. Okay, good. Yes. So Holly says, yeah, I know, but I wanted to give a literary expression for uns. Las uns. Exactly. All right. All right. So apparently we're all on the same page there. Oh, that's a good expression. We are all on the same page. Of course, that means we all understand. We're all in agreement here. But we can say we're all on the same page. All right, let me find another prepositions, dative prepositions. Yeah, let's do dative prepositions. I'd like to do two-way prepositions. Let's this one's called prepos. Let's see what prepos is about, because I really was hoping to do some two-way prepositions.
Tiere sind im Restaurant willkommen.
Tiere sind im Restaurant willkommen. Tiere, animals, are im Restaurant. So it's der Restaurant. So the question is, are they welcome in the restaurant or into the restaurant? A two-way preposition includes an, auf, hinter, in, neben, über, unter, vor, zwischen. We talked about that before. Actually, I have that right here. Two-way preposition, an, auf, hinter, in, neben, über, unter, vor, zwischen. So with any of these two-way prepositions, you have to ask yourself whether there's motion into the location that's being described, right? So auf means on top of. Is there motion towards the top of whatever it is we're talking about? Like if we say auf der Tisch, right? Auf den Tisch. Auf, wait a second. Auf, excuse me. That was so bad. Right. Auf dem Tisch or auf den Tisch. So if there's motion onto that location, then we would use the accusative, auf den Tisch. If there's no motion, we use the dative, which in this case would be dem Tisch. So an, auf, hinter, in, neben, über, unter, vor, zwischen. So let's see what happens when we do some exercises with that in mind. Animals are welcome in the restaurant. So are we welcoming them into the restaurant, or are they in the restaurant and they're welcome while they're there? In this case, it's an idiom. Or im means there's no motion. Animals are welcome in the restaurant. Oh, come on. Hopefully,
Löffel sind nicht in der Tasche.
hopefully you guys, I'm not making big mistakes that people have to correct me on. Löffel sind nicht in der Tasche. So Löffel is spoons. Sind means are not. And this is easy, in the bag. All right, it's easy translating from German. At least it is for me. Especially since we don't have to think a lot about motion in this one. But in this case, it's die Tasche by itself. Tasche is feminine. And in der Tasche is the prepositional phrase. And that means that the spoons are in the bag. They're not moving. They're not going into the bag. They're there already. So there's no motion. So we use dative with a two-way preposition. Because of him, we are beginning. So Wegen. Wegen is one of the ones that's not in my catechism. It's not one of the ones I recite. But wegen ihm, it's dative. It's one of the less common ones. Wegen ihm. So ihn, ihm is nominative, he. Ihn, ihm. Ihm is the dative. That's more stuff to recite later. Wegen ihm wir beginnen.
Wir beginnen.
What did I do wrong? Oh, wegen ihm beginnen wir. That's right, because the other rule that I missed is that the verb always has to be in the second position. So wegen ihm would be considered the first element of the sentence and then the verb. My bad. Water is running into the kitchen. All right, so Wasser läuft.
Wasser läuft.
And this is literally the word for running. So if you're running down the street, you say laufen. Läuft. Wasser läuft. So the water is running into the kitchen. Is there motion? So the location is in the kitchen. Is there motion into that location? Yes, there is. The water's running into the kitchen. So what case do we use? We use the accusative. So it's in die Küche. Yes. Birds lay eggs. Vögel legen Eier. Not a whole lot to say about that one.
Wasser.
Hamburg ist am Wasser. Hamburg is, all right, so am Wasser. That's am is an dem, is what that means. So that's an, auf, hinter, in, neben. And an dem, that means there's no motion towards it. So it's at the water's edge. but it's not. Hamburg isn't moving towards that water's edge, so we use the dative. Hamburg is by the water, I think is what they want. Hamburg is by the water. There is oil on the shirts. And by the way, I love this word, Öl. I've always been I just love that word. Okay, Öl ist, I would say, es gibt. I think literally I want oil is on the shirt, is what we're going to say. Öl ist auf. Oh, wait a second. So auf, Öl ist auf den Hemden. Auf. Yeah, so it's not moving towards here, so we need the dative. All right, good. Auf dem Hemden ist Öl. And we could have said it either way because we had a capital A. Duo kauft ein Schloss in Österreich. Duo, and we know who that is. Duo the owl. Kauft, buys. Ein Schloss. Castle, right? It's funny. Schloss is one of those words that I sort of associate with the thing itself, and I have to think, oh, how do you say that in English? Because it's the sort of thing when you're sightseeing in Germany, you see all the castles and whatever, and I think, is it a castle? Is it a fortress? Is it a, I don't know, but yeah, I think castle's what they want here. In Österreich, in Austria, capital A. Duo buys a castle in Austria. Animals are welcome in the restaurant. All right, this is easy enough. Tiere sind willkommen im Restaurant. All right, so it's im because there's no motion. They're in there, and that's where they're being welcomed. In dem Restaurant.
Pass auf dich auf.
Pass auf dich auf. Pass auf dich auf. Take care. That's interesting. Pass auf. Aufpassen means to pay attention, right? Aufpassen. And then they say auf twice. Why? I don't know. Sie, yes. So is she laying the book or lying the book on the table? Legen. Ich lege. Liegt, I think. Otherwise she'd be reading the book. Oh, she's putting the book. Sie legt. All right, I'm gonna need to review this. Wegen ihm beginnen wir. Because of him, we are beginning. We are beginning. Because of him, we are beginning.
Wasser läuft in die Küche.
Wasser läuft in die Küche. Water, spell water correctly, is running into the kitchen. Right, die Küche, that's nominative or accusative. And if there was no motion, or if the water was just sort of in the kitchen running around, then we would need to say in der Küche. But because it's running into the kitchen, in die Küche. All right, I think that's about all the time I have for today. Started mentioning that the clock was changed. My clock tends to gain a little time. It runs. So I like to set it a little slow so it's not going to chime while we're still on the call. Oh, okay. Let me just see how you guys are doing. Tiere sind im Restaurant, aber willkommen, aber nur auf dem Teller. Ja, das kommt darauf an, ob man Vegetarier ist. Ich bin Vegetarier. In Schwedisch, Öl heißt Bier. Ja, ich will Öl nicht trinken. Aber Bier, ja. Fußball, ja. Limonade, nein. Ich bin total dumm. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's pretty funny. All right, so everybody, thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, let me know. Leave a comment, tell your friends, share the video, have them watch it, and then we can consider doing this again. I'm thinking in the next couple of weeks, I would like to try something new. I would like to do a live stream of Duolingo from Esperanto from Spanish. I have no idea how that's going to work in terms of my own participation in that, but I thought it would be fun trying, especially if I can get the right guests to come on and help me with that. Maybe we'll get some more people either learning Spanish or learning Esperanto from Spanish, and that sort of thing. So yeah, once again, let's do this again sometime, and we'll keep live streaming, and again, watch for those new videos on Thursday. All right. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiederhören.